What do you notice about these two triangles? What do you notice about the measurements of these two triangles?
Well, on the smaller triangle, I see that the longest side, the one that's slanted, is 5, and of the bigger triangle, it's twice of that, which is 10.
Good.
And for the other two sides, they're like twice the amount of the smaller triangle.
Okay, so someone give me an example with the one on the other sides. So he's saying that you multiply 5 by 2, you get 10.
You can
Hold on.
see that kind of.
You keep going, then you're gonna go.
You can kind of see like the A angle. You can see like how both sides of the little part are doubles going into the bigger triangle.
What are those called? What are those called? Like those sides of the triangle?
Base and height.
Is it always base and height? What do we call those two? I hear someone say. What do you say?
Vertices.
It's not a length and a width on a triangle. Those are the two what of a triangle?
Base and
Angles?
sure. The
The legs. Yeah, those are the legs of the triangle. Right? Those are two legs of the triangles.
I've never heard it.
Because what's that slanted line? That's the hypotenuse. Yeah, so the two legs and the hypotenuse. That's how we would refer to a right triangle.
Wait till they're both right triangles.
How do you know the right triangle?
You just said it, miss.
Well, how do we know the right triangle? I mean, granted, the picture kind of shows it.
There's actually one 90-degree angle.
Yeah, we have a 90-degree angle. Even though we don't show the little 90-degree symbol, they are right triangles.
Now.
So what do you know about the legs? Giselle, say what you said because you used a good word. They're proportional. How are they proportional? What do we do to all of the sides of the small triangle to get the sides of the larger?
It's 5 can go to 10 and 4 can go to like half of 8 is 4, half of 10 is 5.
So from the big to the small, I can find half of it. But from the small to the big, what can I do?
You can double it.
Yeah, I can double it or multiply by 2. Very good.
Yeah, so they're proportional. 4, like you just said, 4, 8. All the sides are proportional. Okay, so similar triangles are scale drawn to one another.
What does it mean to be a scale? No, a scale, like last year you did like scale models, right? You worked a little bit with scale. What?
Maybe a scale is like when you see, like you can see like in their same picture, like kind of like they're in the same universe. Like when you see on paper that one is bigger, it's bigger. Like
So imagine like this, let's say a floor plan, right? Let's say I had a floor plan of this school, which I do. It's right here. Okay. So this is not obviously the school, but it's a picture of the school. What do I know about like this wall compared to this wall on the picture? And then this wall compared to this wall in the school? What's the relationship? It's kind of going off of the word that Giselle is saying.
Well, in the picture it's smaller,
But the relationship,
but the relationship is small to big because it is the same thing, just on the paper it's just a little smaller.
yeah, so they're still proportional. Meaning like in that triangle, excuse me, 3 to 4 to 5 has the same relationship as 6 to 8 to 10. That's why it's the same triangle, just made tiny or made big. That's like what this scale is. Excuse me.
Oh, we just said that. So, yeah, so the corresponding sides of the similar triangles are proportional.
So this comes into play when we talk about slope.
Okay. So, this is the definition of slope. If you don't already know it, I would definitely write it down.
Write this down, everyone. Because we need to know, and we talked about how the unit rate and the slope are like the same thing, but there are still questions as to like what the slope represents. The slope is defined on the board for you. That is key because now when we talk about graphing, you use slope as the term.
A measure of the steepness of a line or a section of a line connecting 2 points. That is the slope.
So think about like a ski slope, right? It's like how fast is it going down? Is it like flat? Is it really steep? Any type of that value, like what's the angle of it going down or how is it moving? That's the slope. So we talk about slope when we're talking about lines.
Mm.
You wanna write down the graph?
This is-
You want us to write down
Nope,
the
you don't have to write the graph. We're just gonna talk a little bit about how we can use the idea.
So when you're, oh sorry.
No, you're good.
So when you're finished writing, take a look at this picture. See if you can find the slope of this line.
Wait, those are the triangles right there?
What do you think? I don't think so.
Who just asked me about proportional?
Me, I did.
What did you say?
Because I'm pondering on something that 0 equals 30.
Why
Okay,
zero
so what-
equals 30?
So it's, I don't think it's proportional. But it probably is, I don't know. But
Why is that not a proportional relationship?
Because if
Even
you
though
have
it's
0 and 3,
straight,
it's probably following a pattern
It
instead
is.
of like I forgot, it's like kind of multiplication means that it's the same, it's gonna keep like if you have 0 to 3, you'll have wait, what's the point of 1 on there? You have 1 to like 2.5.
okay.
Yes.
Wait, what?
2 and yeah. The point of 1 is 2.5.
Okay, so like maybe like you're subtracting, you see like it's not from like 4 to 1.
So why did you right away say that it's not proportional? What does
It's not
it need to
going
be?
zero.
Because it's not going to zero. So,
Good. Is it still a line?
Yes.
Is it
That's a-
still is it
Yeah.
still stop. Is it still linear? What's
Yes,
linear mean?
it's
Think about just break out the word linear.
it's a line.
It's a line, right? A linear would be a
It
straight
follows.
line. Is that a straight line?
Yeah.
Good. It's not proportional. So all proportional relationships are linear, but not all linear relationships are proportional. I know. Okay, so let's look at the triangle.
okay, so what do you notice about these triangles?
So I see that the bigger one is twice as big as the smaller one.
How do you know that for sure?
You can see the point, and I was also thinking like if you see this, you can also see this kind of demonstration in a table, because you can also see the points are the same, and they're also scared of each other. They're scaled to each other. You can see the points that you can multiply a certain number by to get. You can multiply a certain number to get to your the same legs and no, there's no wait.
Yes.
Yeah, there is. One of those
Okay,
things.
it's okay.
Like that.
Alright, so
What are the legs of the larger triangle? Like the measurement
yeah, what's the measurement?
3.
of the larger triangle?
Wait,
How many units?
2.
4 and 3.
So what's the base?
It's
Four.
the
4. It's 4 units wide. Good. How about the height? 2. Okay. How about the other triangle?
For the base of the smaller one, it's 2 and the height is 1.
Good. So just looking at those relationships, we know that those triangles are proportional, or they're similar, right? They're yeah. So that tells us that the triangles are essentially the same. How can we find the slope?
Wait, what's this little name?
Wait, isn't aren't the triangles already kind of the slope? Because the big triangle is just a bigger version of what the slope would look like.
True, but the slope is the measure of the steepness. So how is our line moving? Think about how we, so now this, why is this slope different than what we've talked about before?
Because it's not proportional.
Not just that, but what about the line itself?
It's not going to 0 or it's kind of sideways.
Well, so it's going through, not at 0, 0, but at 0.03. But
Does it
what
matter
else
what
about the
direction?
line?
It goes in.
Yes. What's this line compared to all the others we've looked at?
It goes through
It's
the
going-
negative
This
integers.
side. Instead of-
What direction is it going? Up?
It's going down.
It's going down. So is our slope going to be positive or negative? It's going to be negative because our line's going down. We intentionally wanted to show you a negative slope because it's not always going to go up. But in terms of how the line is moving, how am I going from one point to the next? It doesn't matter which points you use. Why? From one point to the next on the line. Why doesn't it matter which one I start at and which one I go to?
Because they're all the same distance apart. No matter what point you use, it's the same either way.
What's the same? It's actually not the distance, right? Because for this example, let's say I started from here and I wanted to see my measurement to here. This isn't the same distance as from here to here. But what is the same? You're on the right track. What is the same? How did I go from this? Let's start here. How did I go from here to here? What'd I do?
You went down 1 and over 2.
Good. Okay. And then how about from here to here? Okay. Down 1 over 2. Good. So there's a pattern there, right? So let's say instead I went from here to here. How did I do that? So let's draw another triangle. What'd I do?
You went down 3. And you went right.
So I went down 3 to the right 6. How about this one? Let's see. From here to here. What'd I do?
You went down 2 and right 4.
What do you notice about the movement?
It's the same. It's the same.
So what is it in its simplest form?
1 over 2 because it follows the same basically statement you're making in the beginning.
Okay, so it all simplifies to 1 over 2. But what kind of 1? Because we didn't go up 1, we went down 1.
Negative 1.
So what's the slope? The slope is the steepness of the line that connects any 2 points. And we just simplified 3 examples. And what was the steepness of the line? How did it move?
Down 1.
Down.
Down 1.
Down 1, which is the negative 1.
And
And then over 2. So what's this value? What's that called?
Kind of like it's not the unit rate.
In reference to the line. Because we don't really, now we've identified unit rates on a line, but now we're talking about the movement of the line. So what does that value represent? Because why? From any point, and it doesn't matter where, I can go down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. How many points do you need to create a line?
Not much.
2. Right? I could use more, but I only need 2. Because if I only had this point and this point, there's my line, and then I can just keep it going. The line won't end. Now you noticed, so how can I write the equation for this line? We're gonna go a little bit ahead, I'm sorry. Think about the equation for a line. How would we write it? What did we do? Even though this is a negative slope, it doesn't matter. We still represent it the same way. What would the equation be? Y equals good. Y equals negative 1.5x. Is that it? This is not something we've learned yet. I'm just trying to see if we find it out. If I substitute it as 0 for x, is my result 3?
No.
I did not mean to do that.
Hold it down, it's fine. Where does it cross? We're going to learn this probably like next week, right? Where does it cross the y-axis? and y is 3. So there has to be more to the equation. We're not going to do it now. We'll just show you why. We can just show you the rest of the equation. You can just write it. What does that represent? Yeah, so that represents where we cross the y-axis. So we're going to learn about that type of equation tomorrow, later this week. Right, so what did we identify? Two key things, the slope and the y-intercept, which we'll learn more about tomorrow.
Yay.
So the slope is not meant to confuse you. We know with the downward line, the down one, the negative slope, it was a little different for you, but the pattern, and notice it didn't matter the size of our triangle. We could go from this point, now let's do something a little different. If I went from this point to this point, I'm not going to.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what's that? What did I do there? Because this is also the same thing as this. What is that? Let's backtrack. What's that? How did I move there? Take a look. Now we already know our slope. How did I move there? Down here. So I went down. I won't even write down. Down 1/2. And then to the right 1. Is that the same as that? Yes. Yeah, that's our slope. Right? Because what is our slope? If you think about slope as unit rate, it's the value for 1 unit. So we went down 1/2 to go over 1. It's the same thing as going down 2 and over 4. It all simplifies to 1/2. And that was a really good example to do because your slope was a fraction, which you'll see a lot. Okay, but we're going to continue to work with this.
So, today, we're actually going to have you partner up, there's going to be a couple groups of 3, that's okay. So
We're going groups of 2. We might have leftover, okay, but we really want 2. If we can go into even groups, we want 2. It doesn't matter, you're not going to work with this person forever, it doesn't matter who you work with. It's just for today. But let's get in groups of 2, and then we're going to explain what we're doing.
So we're going to actually come around and hand you
So
math
these 2 are
books.
together. How are we going to break up? 2. Okay, so you may want to just shift this next to each other because you're going to use it. Yeah, go. How are you guys? Are you 4 going to just break into 2 and 2? Okay, are you 4 going to just break into 2 and 2? You want to come over here? We can do 2, 2, and 2. I think we actually have enough for 2.
Okay, so what we're going to do,
Or, you know, if you want to slice out one of you can down over there. You're going to have to listen to your stories on next You got it. No.
so we're handing out math books to every group.
Check your internet first. Open up the computer and go to matthewmississippi.com to make sure the internet works. So whoever's working together, you want to sit next to each other. Don't be troublesome. Here, I can give some.
Okay,
Check the internet.
so make sure you check the internet. You're going to go right to mathwithmrsc.com.
Go there to check your internet connection. Alright, www.mathwithmississippi.com. If you do not have internet, I need you to bring me the laptop immediately. $12 a year.
Really?
I know, wasn't it?
Anybody can have
Actually, I might buy another one. Wait, what? My wife.
Okay, as soon as you get there, you're going to go right to Classroom Google Drive, as if we were like doing Galactic Hero, right? So you're going to go right to Classroom Google Drive, click on that, and then you're going to go to the Unit 2 folder. You're gonna click on the document that says understanding slope with similar triangles.
It should be like the bottom one.
Okay. And there's multiple links there. I think there's 5.
Before you click on anything, listen to what we're doing.
So I think there's like 5 links there. So what you're gonna do is you get to choose a link. Okay, you get to choose any of those ways to learn about similar triangles and slopes.
Some of them are videos, some of them are documents. It doesn't have to just be a video. Okay, we put options. Some of you may like to read something, some of you want to watch something. There's options.
Okay, so you get to choose with your partner which one you want to use. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna write down any information that you find, and when you're finished, you're gonna make a brochure as if you were like teaching the rest of the class about what you found.
Or imagine like for Luz. Imagine you had to create a brochure so that when Luz comes in tomorrow, she's like, hey, what did I miss because I was absent? You could be like, this is my brochure, this is the topic we learned about. So in that example, you should have any type of definition that you might need, like maybe the definition of slope, since she wasn't here for that, we just did it today. Examples, and as much descriptive information. So you have to keep in mind, you are teaching someone else. Not everyone just reads well. Some people like graphics. Some people like to read explanations. Some people need a real world scenario. So those are options. The examples in the websites give a little bit of everything.
So the main idea is actually written as question on the board, on the chalkboard. It says, what do similar triangles tell you about the slope of a line segment between 2 non-vertical points? What's vertical? What does it mean to be vertical?
To be vertical is up in north to south.
Okay, so like lines like this. So what would non-vertical be?
This,
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
No, not
Anything that's not this. Okay?
So like this to that, like that's non-vertical, right? Because there's like a slope to it. So while you're creating the brochure to educate someone else, you will also be learning, and you should be able to answer that question at the end of class. So you have like 40 minutes. You should be able to answer that. You should know like what the similar triangle idea, and we kind of went through on the board. We were able to find the slope no matter what point on the line we went from and what point we went to because of that triangle concept. That's the idea. But you should be able to answer that question while creating a brochure to help someone else. Does anyone have any questions? If you're going to watch a video, please get earbuds because there's a lot of videos and we don't want everyone's sound to get crazy. If you need to borrow them, you can do like one each. We will take out some paper, the big white paper, for you to create your brochures. But we have about 40 minutes till the end of class. It's like 40 minutes exactly. Okay? The lessons are somewhat short, so you shouldn't have a problem getting some information. All right, come on, buddy. Yeah. Give me like 2 minutes. The white paper is up here at the smartboard for when you're ready to start writing.
No, I don't have it. So like, I can move on.
Are you hot?
You know what, man? But just persistent. This is what happened. You should not just. How many times look at it every day? Oh yeah, put them.
I have banana with almond butter. You want it? I ate before I came, so I don't really need it. I'll just eat that out right away. Like, it's an experience. Yeah, we actually woke up like early, and I told Justin, I was like, maybe we should wake up early so like after we run, like we can make breakfast. So he did. He made like eggs and turkey bacon. I was like, this is so awesome.
I like 2 eggs
Maybe
and
do
2
you ever do
slices.
those egg muffin things
Like in the
in like the cookie pan?
no.
Oh,
I used to do them in we don't have a microwave anymore, but I used to do them in the microwave.
so we'll like make for me, my mom, and my stepdad, we like make it all for us for the week pretty much.
So what do you put in it?
So I'll put like peppers, onions.
It's almost like an omelet, like
Yeah,
in a
it's like
muffin.
an omelet, but in a
So how many eggs do you put in the muffin? Like 1? Or do you just mix it?
No, because we do 2 pans for because it's like 3 of us eating it.
But do you like mix all the eggs in one big
Yeah, we
batch or
make
just pour it in?
Yeah, we make
Okay.
all of it. We mix everything in one, and then just pour it in, put it in the oven, and then it's ready. And then you
How long does it
pop
take?
in the microwave, in the oven. Like, I honestly watch it, but it's like 6 minutes. No,
Oh, that's not bad.
yeah. I just like watch and see when it looks ready.
I would do that. I love eggs.
Yes, and then you just pop it in the microwave in the morning. 30 seconds.
Mm. And eggs like sustain me. Like it's a good protein. It'll like last.
And I'll do like one. Like I'll do like egg whites too.
Mm.
1 egg for every.
Oh yeah.
You know.
So you mix in the whites too. That's smart. Good way to save calories.
If the things that you're reading are confusing, try a video because they explain it somewhat clearly. You're just putting together a brochure, so whatever you want to do to like compile your information is totally up to you. The big paper for the brochures are up here. Feel free to take them whenever you want.
There's a right triangle. There's a 90-degree.
It's okay. COL is really just a checking of understanding. So when you run the risk that it's intuitive to do something like one kid's really good and it doesn't. It's still just a snapshot. It's not great. So it's happening. Yeah.
My God, it's one side. Yeah.
You want to like go over like to the other side of the room, like watch it, so you're not disturbing them until they do. Curious what the website or you can. You don't have to. Whatever you want. Okay, you just stand up here at the cart and watch it. Young's beautiful. It's gonna be awesome when Louis comes in tomorrow. We're like, what is it gonna be for you?
I just said today's gonna be a good day. Alright, get the brochure.
So that timer, when it beeps, there will be 10 minutes left.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So we can kind of like wrap it up.
Yeah. Or like they'll have to start to put whatever they have
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna put on another video. Cool. I couldn't even put on the video. Maybe she scrolls down.
I got it.
Oh yeah, sometimes they need a day like this where they can just figure it out on their own.
She said.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. Sometimes, like, we did explain it, but they might need it another way.
Yeah, we did go into it deeper than
Yeah.
we were going to, which is good. Cause it did kind of worry me.
Yeah.
You know.
So the question becomes, if they don't finish today, what to do? Because, like, you can't just leave it hanging. And I'm, like, notorious for, like, we're just gonna move on. So we could make this the warm-up tomorrow, like 12 minutes to finish. Friday, we have a half day. It's like we're doing that event at the end of the school. Now and okay, good. It's only an hour. But like I have to confirm. The problem is FaceTime Friday times change. So I don't know if the people that I have I have to talk to them. I think they can. I actually think it's better.
Oh wait.
What?
Oh yeah, I can put it. I gotta run. I have to eat stuff to print.
Oh.
Like how I can do that for my laptop, but I have it at Dropbox.
Okay.
Because I put it on that for you. Forgot. I did that.
Sure.
So any information, like how do we use the triangles? What is summarize the video? What if we go over and you can use another resource too. Like the video maybe snapshots. Exactly. Doesn't have to be on the topic. There's stuff
I know this already. We just make a big round. I know what soap is. I'm like, why? There's no powder in there. Or like go draw them at all of them. Or like, I know today. I'm like, I don't know what it is.
Just fill out the.
Yep.
Binding low.
What? Yep. Why? Yes, I would say like obviously some of them they're not finding it right, and then you can put like why I mean, you can even write like this is a quiz, like you're not working together. Any type of information there like that, because obviously they're cheating. I always find it funny though when they do that because they don't cheat on people that know what they're doing.
Okay, I understand. Okay, I have an idea. So we're gonna answer the what are these? We're gonna answer what a slope is. We're gonna answer what a slope is. You said what? So he's gonna say. No, he's gonna start saying military. What is our constant inclinations? Oh my God. Oh yes. You just read it? Just a constant inclination of a line.
Was Marie it's LAX though, not LAC.
What? So you think that 12 and 2 are the line? Like, come on.
Is there another word that we can find?
Start from the definition of slope.
Proportional. Who says it? Constant?
That to me.
Really? Why? My heart beats at 92 because I was born before you. My heart beats at 92. We should have made a lie and said that. Whoever's on I know, but I don't know. You're not even listening.
Then we put the definition of
What else can we say about it?
We're gonna put the definition of slope right here. Answer this question.
Okay. What?
Are they all doing 12 to 2?
When is this due?
So we want to try to finish by the end of class. We know you probably won't. You have like 20 minutes, like a little bit less than 20. We'll probably finish it during like our warm up tomorrow, the first like 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be crazy detail. We want to get as much information on there as possible. If you want to work on it a little bit during your lunch period, you can, even though we're not. Actually, technically, we could.
I'm not gonna play everything so
So that is the relationship, but it's not the union.
Yeah, right.
Right. Okay.
Oh yeah, slope is like constant proportionality. Oh my god. I just put on this question. Oh my god. You should
I really want to go. The thing is, like, I use the Fitbit, and I do like it. Like, in terms of running, like, I feel like if I'm gonna try to get like a little bit more serious in terms of like doing more, then like I know that watch gives me. But then I was just like, I was reading a little bit yesterday about it, and like there are people who like they wear their Fitbit all day, and when they run, they wear their phone, or they like interchange them because you can sync them like seamlessly. Yeah, there's actually an app that attaches to Fitbit that like pulls in Garmin information and sends it to Fitbit. So you'll still have all your information in one spot. Yeah, I might do it. And like Best Buy. Wait, you still don't have a couch? What about, like, have you considered going, like, around the city, like, and just getting, to where? Oh, yeah. The only thing about, like, Valley City, I don't know how your, like, credit is, but they have, there's a sale coming out this week, it's like 5 years in the Yeah. The bare minimum. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Go all out.
Yeah, but right now I'm just trying to get action.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Examples,
The battery life on the Garmin is ridiculous. Like if you don't use the GPS tracking all the time, it actually is 4 weeks. 4 weeks. This is like 2 days. It's 4 weeks plus like notifications. If it's just like a watch and you get your notification, then as you use your activity, obviously like one's down. The GPS. From a safety perspective, like I kind of like having the GPS because like this syncs, but like the GPS is in my phone. The watch is like the GPS is on the watch. So like God forbid, I mean this is crazy. I mean I was ever like and like my phone wasn't moving. Like the watch still tracks me. Like I know it sounds so scary, but it's happened. Yeah. Most of the time I run with my husband, but as I do marathon, and he's not running marathon. So like I'm gonna start running like one of my runs like 20 miles. Like I have to run into the next step. I can't run 20 miles right now. So I think I might do it.
How is that 6?
Wrong, yeah, I just want to get a line for that.
It's kind of funny. They like don't even know.
Oh, I didn't see that.
But see, the Garmin tracks your sleep too, just like the Fitbit. I don't even know if I would wear the Fitbit. But you're aware. It has like, yeah. Well, there's a difference between like restless and sleeping.
Yeah.
So like it tracks, like there are times where it says I'm restless. Although there's times like I'm sitting watching TV and it tracks as restless, meaning like I was asleep and I was just like a little like tossing and turning. I always laugh when that happens. I'm like, really? I was like up.
Yeah.
That like freaks me out sometimes. The Fitbit. Yeah. I love it. But like I like it for every day. I like the Garmin like product. But if they were like syncing, I would kind of like, you know, maybe one day I'll just wear the Garmin, and the other day I'll just wear the Fitbit. Or if this has to charge, I'll just wear that. Like knowing that it syncs. I don't know. I want it. And then I get like this, like I don't buy a lot of stuff, but then like when I get my mindset on something, I'm like I need to have it. And I'm not that way, but there's certain things. All right, so period 5, I have a data meeting, so I have to go to that, and then I will be back here for, I don't know if I'm going to be back right at period 6 because I am hoping that will help me with my assignment because I need a lot of help. It's actually like kind of challenging. Like I identified all the court cases that I need to like talk about, but then like I need to give recommendations. So like the first scenario is like this really good student, and like all of a sudden she's getting like really bent out of shape because there's an I Love Religion group that like they meet after school and they hand out stuff during lunch, which they're allowed to do. And she like freaks out. She hates it. She wants him to be like torn apart. She doesn't. So then she's been putting stuff on Twitter about them, basically harassing them. And then like someone's put then after all this, someone put drugs in her locker, and she swears that it's the head of this group. His dad's the mayor. She like demands that you search his car. So like in terms of like court cases, all right, you have 10 minutes till class is over. Whatever you don't finish, we will finish during the warm up tomorrow, or you could do during lunch, right? You have the option.
So just make sure your names are on the back of this, and if you leave them, we're gonna hand them back out tomorrow for decision.
So like I know like First Amendment rights about like the second. So that would be
We have to answer this question now. Give me that. Yeah, we have to do that now.
So that needs to be incorporated into your
It's really good. You can do it first thing tomorrow. Or do it now.
so that's what they do. More like 8. So I understand like the legal cases, like First Amendment, HIB, and drugs, right? Like in terms of like searching a kid's car and all that stuff. But like what I don't know is like the recommendation, because I have to like write a recommendation to the superintendent. And like I said to Mr. Wilson, I was like, I really want to say like we're gonna call the girl in and say, like deal with it. But I was like, what do you do? And he's like, well, you know, you can get the girl counseling. Because she went from being like she has like a full scholarship to Harvard, and now it's like she has been doing it her school because it's like working her up. So, right. Although this doesn't say anything. Oh yeah, so like it says she's a really good student. It says recently she's become disenchanted. It just says disenchanted. It doesn't say her grades have suffered. So in any event, like that. And then the second scenario is like a tenured teacher who
he like sucks as a teacher, but all of his evaluations say that he's like effective. But now there's a lawsuit. Like, so it says that all of his evaluations are effective, even though like he's really not a good teacher and there's been a lot of complaints on it, right? I'm a first year administrator, so all this stuff happened before I got there. Right? So then we notice, I look at his data and I see that his SGOs were just copied and pasted here, that they're like not challenging or anything. The thing is, like, somebody signed over, right? So then next, family is suing the school that their special ed student, because this guy's a special ed teacher, wasn't provided like a free and appropriate public education. So they're suing the school for like $500, and they're suing me personally, right? Which you can. So, and they're saying that the teacher basically sucks. So then, now the next step, the teacher finds out that this is a lawsuit and starts posting on his Facebook page that like the school has like basically hung him out to dry. The school didn't provide him with any help, blah blah blah. He's like bashing the school, which you're not allowed to do. And then lastly, he says now he has like a chronic condition where he's like he has an issue and anxiety of coming in the classroom, so he demands that the school makes accommodations. Now the problem is like you can make accommodations for a teacher with a handicap unless it like basically prohibits them from doing their job. So if he can't come into a special ed classroom, how's he gonna do his job? So again, like this is like I have to write a recommendation. Like what are we gonna do with this guy? And like you can't even mention the word retirement. Like you can't because that's like huge lawsuit. So that's why I'm like, hey, I just need you to give me the recommendation. Like because I feel like first of all it's very extreme. Not that this never happens, but like as a first year administrator, like you're not gonna be able to hear what this guy is. It's like you need a data trail, like years. Not to mention all of his evaluations have been effective or highly effective. So you can think a teacher sucks. If on paper they don't, then they don't. Like you can't just fire them. So yeah. But I have like these are all the court cases that I can speak to. Like I handwrote it. I was like I want it all handwritten. But now I need like the recommendations, and that's what I'm like. And I told him that this morning. I was like, I feel really good, except like the recommendations. I'm not really sure like what I can recommend to the superintendent. Like for the girl, like I can't open up as an administrator. You can't open up a HIP case. Even though like if you see that this girl's harassing them, the only one who can actually bring up the charge are the kids being harassed. So like I can speak to the fact that this is wrong, but like I can't say like, well, this is going to be an investigation because you're not allowed to do that. So like, what do you do? And like, there's moments where I'm like, I feel like I run to him like every time, like, what should I do? What should I do? And part of me's like, am I ever gonna be able to do this? It's like my job. But then I realize like this is really extreme, like, really extreme.
I actually like have the same thoughts. I think
Right, like how am I ever gonna do this by myself?
yeah. So it's like.
And you can though, like, and that's the thing, like, you make it your own, and, right, not to mention, like, especially with a lot of this, like, legality, it changes all the time. Like, even Mr. Goldstein was like, no, they can't actually sue you personally. But, like, my husband finished his master's, like, 2 years ago, and in his law class, it was, like, newer legislation that says you can sue an administrator personally, which like even this morning Goldstein was like, if that's true, I have to get out of this position because this teacher's crazy. Yeah. It's like, well, yeah, we tend to be a little bit. Yeah. So like it changes all the time. So you just need to have like either internet or like a resource to go to like check this stuff before you make decisions. That's kind of what I think. Like I don't need to know all this. Like I don't need to know like TL, like I don't need to know the case of TL, like because then that's the thing, like the cases, it's not like Joanne Caracanis versus Lakewood, it's like JK versus Lakewood's like, okay, in the case of JK,
Yeah.
and then it gets really annoying. So yeah, and that's that. I hate the legal stuff. There's things I really don't do well with. I don't do well with special ed, and I don't mean like kids, like the legislation and like the law. Even like supervisor jobs, I'm like, I'll never be a special ed supervisor, ever. That's where all the legality, any legal issue that a school's in is special ed. So that I hate. And then like legal stuff, it's not that I phone away. It's not that I hate. Oh, okay, it's fine. It's not that I like hate law. It's just like I don't understand like legal stuff. Just like even reading some of the court cases. Like I needed to give it to my husband. Like, can you read this and just like break it down for me? Like I couldn't even tell in some of the cases like who won. Yeah. Then no, like some of the cases, I was like, can you just tell me who won? Because like I understand the details. Like okay, they were fighting the school because the kid couldn't hand out like a flyer about a Christmas party. I get that. Who won? Like is the kid allowed or are they not? Like yeah. That's what was like killing me. And the religion thing's a big one, of course.
Yours is like more sharp. And mine is more like
Now my question is, was the graph, now how do the honors say, did anyone confuse the line?
I do.
It's like part of me wants to say like, okay, they were like really thrown off. They just, the line was, yeah. It's like I don't wanna like give them the benefit of the doubt, but I wanna give them.
Don't even love triangles.
Right, of course. Like how they're thinking the 12 and 2 is on the line is like beyond me. I just don't understand how they think that that's on the line. Like I don't understand it at all. At all.
I like the
All right, the bell is going to ring. We need the laptops put away. Sorry, you don't have to plug them in. They just need to go into their spots. Quickly, your bell's gonna ring. Sorry.
1 minute. Not even, there's like 1 second. We'll just answer it first thing tomorrow. I already received it.
Anything that you are not done with can stay next to the DOL bin. We'll finish them tomorrow. If you're gonna finish it either like at home or during lunch, you can keep it and drop it off later. I want to get new erasers and I want to clean them. Alright, I'm gonna go DOL bin next to it. Or in it, that's fine. I'm actually gonna go next to the DOL bin. Or in the DOL bin is fine. Have a good day.
We're going back after. Wait, we're still staying after again.
Come on, Raheli, it's your turn. Come on, Raheli, please.
I can't see it. Season to be jolliness.
Have a good day.
My last milkshake. Have a great day.
Bye, you too. Park Adventure starts, I want to say next Thursday. You're in. Did you get confirmation that you're in? Okay, awesome. Sweet. We'll meet in my room too, so it actually works out really well. You'll know exactly where to go.
Have a great day.
Bye, you too.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye. Have a good day. Thank
All right,
you.
so I'm gonna run to the bathroom and then I'm gonna go to the meeting. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna go bathroom, meeting, I'll be back.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring this because if I talk too much, my phone.
She went down already?
Yeah.
I could put this up here, then I could like draw like a vertical point.
Oh, yeah.
That's
a great idea.
A lot of,
Yeah, that wording was weird. Like a non-vertical line. That was really weird.
well, it came right from the.
It was it was the actual like
So, like,
definition like
yeah,
that they
so-
provide. But that's why like the Be Ready Common Core, like that book, they use certain terminology that like does confuse, which is why I like using it because it kind of clarifies it before the park.
Yeah,